I say 1996. That's when Tupac passed away, and my city changed forever. Before in my city in Seaside, we were very influenced by LA rap. You know what I mean? Like everything about LA, because a lot of niggas from LA came up to the Seaside, influenced the Crip, influenced uh, LA habits, LA, wearing things that people wear in LA, Dickies, you know, Croker sacks, things like that. The LA nature, our city started off reflecting Los Angeles, all the way to 1996 when Tupac died. Um, in '96, when Tupac died, that's when that's when things changed around, because like the whole industry was kind of like scared to do gangster rap at that time. Tupac just died, Biggie, what I mean? Then next year Biggie died, so it's like they put a whole narrative that gangster rap is the reason why Biggie and Tupac died. So, gangster rap wasn't pumping like it was after '96. It wasn't really popular, because really, tell you the truth, like being a gangster wasn't popular. Being a gangster wasn't popular in the '80s or '90s. You had a lot of niggas hiding their gangsterism. You had a lot of niggas scared to even wear their gangster apparel home. Yeah, they wearing chucks on the streets and walking in diggies, but then they gotta put that in their backpack when they walk in the house and talk to mom and dad, because mom and dad was tripping off the gangster stuff. I mean, it was really tripping. So when you look at that perspective world, where it was how difficult it really was to just be a gangster compared to not being a gangster. When Mac Dre got out of jail like 1999, year 2000. He was rapping gangster shit, but he was rapping like just mid gangster shit. Like he wasn't really fully all the way into gangster shit. He was like mid gangster a little bit. But then he turned it up a notch, and he started making songs that made people feel happy. He started making songs where like he was like his own nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like he was his own nigga. He was the Mac. He was pimping. He was doing what he wanted to, hopping out dressed. He was hopping out of different cars, fly as hell, dancing, having fun. And people fell in love with that. And people fell in love with Mac Dre and his personality, especially in Seaside. And people wanted to be like Mac Dre. People did not want to be like nobody from LA. Everybody in my city wanted to be like Mac Dre. You know? And, by that time, I was like around, when Mac Dre started talking about Thizzin and the Hyphy, I was like around 19, 20 years old. So, I was really way past the stage of hanging out and wanting to be a gangster. I was way past it, because I was hanging out since I was 13 years old. So I was way past it. So when Mac Dre came with he came with this movement, it was just so happy. It was different. And when I seen him perform, it was even on a more different level. And I was like, man, this is tight. This is fun. And that's what happened. Like people seen the fun and people seen the excitement and move towards Mac Dre. Now, this happened all through the Bay Area. You know what I mean? Like people are still fans of E40. You know what I mean? But E40 E40 is kind of like boring sometimes. You know what I mean? He's boring. I don't know. He's speaking in acrylic, hyperacrylic codes. The average person couldn't really understand what E40 was talking about. Mac Dre, you can understand everything he's talking about. So, he became, I'm talking about he blew up fast. 2004 When he died, when I seen him perform and I seen how many people showed up and was reciting the songs word for word, I knew he's going to the top. Then he got killed, and then that's when the Hyphy movement jumped in phase. And the Hyphy movement was scandalous. The Hyphy movement was corrupt. You know, every other second they come out with, you know, a tape talking about this is this, and then putting Mac Dre's face on it, and it was just a whole bunch of variety of garbage songs. Everybody feeling like they Mac Dre, hopping out the car on pills. You can feel like you're Mac Dre, but you're not Mac Dre. And that was the problem. You're not Mac Dre. I don't give a damn how hyped Keith got me. I don't give a damn how hyped Mr. Fab got me. I don't give a damn how hyped something terrible tried to get me. It just wasn't Mac Dre. And it deteriorated the bay because everybody was talking about I'm feeling like Mac Dre, hopping out the car, jumping around, jumping on cars, dancing around, crashing cars. It turned to pure madness. This is not what Mac Dre was about. This is not what Mac Dre was about. Mac Dre was about pimp. You know, he was about getting at females. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'll pop a pill for the fun, but it's about getting money and getting at females and working and doing rap. That's what it's about. It was not about just being a pure basshead, hopping out of a car, and that's what niggas turned into, bassheadism. That's what niggas turned to, basshead. So that's what made the Bay Area. Like that's what made the barrier not take the barrier serious, because like you got people in LA looking at people in the Bay jumping around and dancing and stuff and talking about they feel like Mac Dre. We don't even know who he is yet. And by the time people knew who he was dead. So now we just got a whole bunch of fake people jumping around, and then Thiz Latin. We got Mexicans thizzing and popping pills and jumping on cars. We got Asians jumping on cars. We got Indians jumping on cars. We got... It turned all out wild, man. It turned all out wild and turned to a complete circus. So I understand what Clyde, the master, was talking about. It turned to a complete clown show.